My work refuses to pay for anything over $60 on our expense reports, so I decide to maliciously comply, forcing them to pay much more money than they ever expected. Here's what happened. So I was on an off-site short-term project, coming from one of the cheapest to live in countries in Europe and staying for months in Singapore, which is the project location. I had found some places that I could eat for pretty cheap, and the food was good and within my taste palette. We were getting about $60 per day for food expenses, but I was spending somewhere between $25 to $30 on average, with the highest ever getting to just under $50. The short-term project eventually gets drawn out over 10 months, and our customer's client is raising a ton of issues. I discussed this a few times with some of the guys in my company, and a manager told me to take the client out for a dinner and some drinks. He would confirm the extra expense and told us not to go too much overboard on the expenses. I specifically asked what that means, and he told me not to go over $200 to $250. We go out and neither me nor the client really drink much, so we ended up having some food and a drink each of us. The guys at the restaurant know me well by that point and almost always do some rounding on the bill or bring something extra to the table on the house, and with them bringing plenty of finger food, I end up with a bill that's $60.68. And sure, it's about 70 cents above our daily limit, but way below the $200+ allowance for just that. At the end of the month, I send the report in and put a special note for that specific day. The expense report goes through my company with no problems, but the customer flags that receipt up as not acceptable and not to be covered. They put me in direct communication with the customer and I explain what's going on, but nope, that's not accepted. It's not gonna be covered. I talk again with my company and tell them the situation, and I stated that the manager advised me to do so, as well as mention that he would confirm. But unfortunately, the guy is out sick with COVID and will not be returning for at least 2 weeks. The customer must have this settled by the 15th of the month, and he wants to hear specifically from the manager that I was advised to act in such a way and that I was approved by that manager, and that's the only way they would cover it. And at this point, this is getting crazy and out of hand.